and it's not doing anything. Hey, good evening and welcome to tonight's live part two. Don't know why it's decided to go into French, but I have done anyway. Part two of my interview with a multiple income individual, a me as we refer to them, Kirsty Logan. Very briefly, and I have to apologise before I start, I was at the Scotland football game last night and my voice is still trying to recover. So if it seems a bit hoarse, that is why, folks. But anyway, who am I? My name's Spence. Not about me, just so you know, in case you see me on the various different platforms, who is this guy with a loud shirt? My name's Spencer. I'm the time and wealth creator. I literally mentor thousands of me's, multiple income individuals throughout the whole of the UK. What's a multiple income individual? Well, it's someone who has more than one stream of income. And if you look back in 2017, there's only 5 million people in the UK with a secondary income stream. Yet at the end of 2025, that is five-fold increase to 25 million. That's half the working population. And you can figure out you don't have to be a genius. It's all because of the cost of living. But anyway, enough of that. I'm getting the privilege and pleasure of interviewing people over a series of weeks, months, and probably even years. And last week, we interviewed Kirsty and a little bit of her journey. If you missed that, we'll put it back in the feed so you can get back and catch up with all of that. But I want to delve more into Kirsty's story. So just very, very quickly, so you don't have to go and find out, Kirsty has been with the same employer 20 years this week. And she didn't get a gold watch. No. In fact, you probably didn't get anything from your employer. Am I correct or am I correct? Yeah, I thought that. 20 years and probably all they gave you was more work. Anyway, she's a single mum to the amazing Ewan and she is a rock star in her business. She has got so much more to go, so much more growth, but she is taking people to the very, very top along with her. So tonight I'm going to ask her a series of questions and I'm going to start with question number one, Kirsty. So when you started as a multiple income individual, you had a secondary income stream. What challenges did you face early on and how did you push through that?
There's a couple of things. I'd say that one of the big ones was skepticism from other people, not from myself. I did have a little bit of the this sounds too good to be true type feeling. And I think I probably projected a bit of that onto people that I was talking to. So there's a bit of skepticism and people are scared to change anyway. And they don't know what it is that you're showing them. They don't know what it is that you're doing. It's new to you, it's new to them. And as soon as I realised that it wasn't too good to be true, after a short while, and I realised that actually what I was doing was helping people to make things simpler and to make things cheaper and to make their life a wee bit easier. When I was able to tell people that that was what I was going to do, rather than go in with loads and loads of information, that all became a bit easier when people realised that actually you're just there to help them. And then the more I did it, the more I was in my more comfortable with it, but able to feel a bit more confident about showing people how I can help them. And I think the biggest thing that I did at the beginning and the biggest challenge was I overcomplicated everything. I still sometimes do that, as you well know, Spencer. I sometimes do that.
I do.
I'm very much, I'm about the detail. I like to know everything. I like the ins and outs of everything. And I had to untrain my brain to do that because the system that's put out in front of us and the tools that we're given to be able to show people and help people are really, really simple. And as soon as I started to learn that, I just needed to follow the leader, if you like, and the people that are doing well, and the people that have done well, just listen to them. And there's loads of that available for us. You can tap in at any point and listen to people. You can ask questions on forums. You can speak to people like yourself who have been in the business for a long time. And you don't have to know everything. It's very much an opportunity to earn as you learn. So you learn more by speaking to people and going through and showing people how you can help than you do actually sitting down and reading it all. So that was my challenge at the beginning, was untraining my brain that I don't actually have to know everything immediately. Because like in a normal job, you'd go in, you'd get trained, and then you'd start. It doesn't mean you start straight away and you start earning money straight away and learn as you go. So it was a little bit different.
Absolutely. And it's quite normal, and having done this for, well, almost 20 years, to be fair, it's really common that people try to overcomplicate it. And the reason that they do that is they feel that it's just too simple. And if we're earning good money and it's that simple, I've got to justify by making it more complicated, where actually it's all about the simplicity in the first place. That is why you join, to follow the simple system. But yeah, you're not alone. Most people do that. And I've always thought of the word learn, Learn, even, if I could say it properly. If you imagine when you're driving a car, you've got an L plate on your car, it's to warn other people that you're learning. Well, if you put that L in front of the word earn, that's what we do. We earn as we learn, with a big L plate on at the beginning. That's exactly what we do. We just follow, as you say, the leaders that are in front of us who have walked the path or something. So amazing. So next question for you would be, when was the first moment you thought, this is working? What was your moment that you went, this works? I know what mine.
There's actually a few of them right at quite near the beginning where I went, right, this is working, and they were all different things. Like one of them was pretty soon after I first started. It was only maybe, I'd say maybe about 6 weeks in, and I was quite overwhelmed with the amount of different ways that we can learn, that we can earn money, and different way. I was trying to understand the whole way that my residual income was going to work, because I was quite interested in the upfront income because it was really good. But then I was looking at this residual income thinking, that's coming in the future, but that's pretty good as well. But there was also, I joined in October, and there was a Christmas incentive, which there always is. And I earned that pretty quickly, but I was getting my head around, I've just had this delivered to my house, and this is amazing. And I took 2 levels of it, and all this stuff got delivered to my house. But I also earned a ton of money at the same time. And I remember thinking, I'm being really, really rewarded here, and all I'm doing is helping people. And then it was the end of the January came, and there was a holiday incentive, which I knew about, but I just kind of had it in the back of my head that there was a big holiday incentive, and I was thinking, there's no way I'm going to hit this. And I was very close. So I hit the one that got me a weekend away, and then a couple of weeks after I'd chosen where I wanted to go, I got another phone call, and he said, where do you want the flights for this? And I said, I think you've got this wrong, because you're telling me I'm going there, but actually I'm going there. And they said, very, very matter of fact, actually we're going to send you on them both, because you started quite late on and you've almost hit that big one, so we're just going to give you both of these. I was just blown away. I was like, I've earned this money, I've got all this Christmas incentive, and they're now giving me 2 holidays. And that whole too good to be true thing came back into my mind. But no, it was true enough. But I'd say the big moment for me, I'd probably been in for about 1.5 years, maybe even a bit longer, maybe, can't actually remember when it was, but I was a wee bit further down the line. And I'll call it my light bulb moment, because I'd worked on the Saturday in my day job, and I had done 12-hour shift on overtime. So my alarm had gone off at 3:30 in the morning. I'd had to organise childcare for Ewan to go somewhere else overnight. Drove along that bypass in the absolute pouring rain and cold and dark. Worked for 12 full hours. Then I had to drive home and think about, what am I going to do for the dinner? I'll have to pick Ewan up. I'll have to get him to his bed. And then on the fact, that's a lie, that was on the Sunday. The Saturday before it, I had been on a day off. And I had been working my business, and I'd spoken to 5 different people. And I was driving home on that Sunday, exhausted, and I thought, yesterday I earned 5 times more than I've earned today in 5 hours. And that was it for me. I actually said the words to myself in my car out loud. I said, what am I doing?
I bet there's a few expletives in there as well.
It was just like that whole, why am I doing this? This is crazy. If I can apply my time in a more clever way,
look
how much more I can do, and look how much. And that was the point where that completely changed for me. And I thought, this is working. And that wasn't even taking into account where my residual income had got to after that period of time. So
amazing.
That was amazing for me. Comparing it to what the time exchange was.
Yes.
In terms of the value for money.
Absolutely. I mean, most people were conditioned via school to exchange your time for money. And that's the way that we're taught as such. So when you talk about residual income, so for those that don't know, I prefer to use the terminology recurring income. So it's an income that keeps coming in on a recurring basis, okay? It's like you've got recurring bills, like you've got utility bills, you've got a mortgage, you've got rent, you've got... These are recurring bills every month. You just got to pay them, okay? And what you're talking about there, Kirsty, is getting paid for a job you did in the past, month after month, year after year, in my case, decade after decade, for doing that job just once. So that's the bit that got you excited, but you needed the instant income because you wanted to be able to do things. And I have to, there's so many different points in what you said there. 5 times more money, not having to leave the house, not having to go along the bypass at silly o'clock in the morning, coming back, being exhausted, all those sorts of things. You think, wow, for less than half the time, 5 times the money. So there's that part of it. Yep. And then there was, and it's gone completely out of my head, totally. But there was another part that you said there was like, wow, just, in fact, I'll tell you what it was now. You said that you joined in the October, you got like a Christmas turkey and all the trimmings and so much more for just helping some people, as you said. Then you thought I couldn't really qualify for what they call an achievers retreat, basically a holiday away for achievement. Yep. And you didn't quite meet the criteria, but the company said, well, you came in quite late, so we're just going to upgrade you. Now, bear in mind, this week is your 20th anniversary with your employer, and they have given you what? Nothing.
No.
Nothing. I want everyone watching this, I need you to comprehend what Kirsty has just said and just think, that's me. I haven't done anything. I don't get, you might get a pay rise. It might be above inflation if I'm really, really, really lucky. Well, hey. Wow. My next question was going to be simply, how has your life changed since starting building this business? So, I mean, you kind of alluded to some of it, but anything else you would want to add in?
Well, at that moment, at that life built moment, that was the moment where I said, this is nuts. What am I doing? This exchange isn't worth it. Yep. And went in on my next set of shifts and spoke to my manager and said, I want to go part-time. This is not a fair exchange. I didn't say that to him, but it was not a fair exchange of time for money for me when I could see another way. And then very shortly after that, because when you work, well, what was that? 18 years of shift work, your body very quickly becomes used to being tired all the time, but you don't actually notice it happening. So It was only about 6 months in before I started to think, I actually feel great. I feel really, really good. I don't feel exhausted all of the time. I was around for you and I was getting to the Sunday football. I had a better social life because I was only working and committing half the amount of time. I was committing the same amount of time, but that was at my choice. I would choose when I worked, and I chose not to work on a Sunday morning because I had football, or I would choose not to work on a Saturday night because I want to go out with my friends. Whereas before, if that's what you were rostered to work, that's what you work. Yeah. So I just felt so much more in control of everything. And by then as well, I was starting to watch my residual income building up, and I was thinking, if this is how it's got to so far, can you imagine if I do more of that for less time, or even the same amount of time? That's just going to keep going like that. That's when I started to see it. So that was another this is working moment.
Brilliant. And I think for most people, that's exactly the case, isn't it? People need to often see the evidence of something before they start. I mean, as you said, it seems too good to be true. Even though, within a few months, you're literally getting the turkey and the dinner put out for you. Then you can go abroad and to do all sorts of stuff. You now, have a car as a result, is branded so people can know who you are. I mean, in our community, people know who Kirsty Logan is. The wider community maybe doesn't yet, but you soon absolutely will do if you don't know her just yet. Yeah, absolutely amazing. So for you, the journey so far, what's it done for things like, family, obviously time with you, and you kind of alluded to that, confidence, and you've already alluded a little bit about lifestyle. So what's it done for you in those 3 areas, would you say?
Family. So Ewan's my reason why I do this. And also to be able to live. But I spoke the last time just about, how important it is that he has a better life than I had. I mean, I didn't have a bad life, but I just want to be able to give him more. And just for it's more about time and experiences. So being there for him, but also just in the October holidays just passed, an opportunity came up for me. I'm not going to say too much about it because he'll get embarrassed. But an opportunity came up for me to do something with him that he would absolutely love. And I was able to say, well, do you know what? I've got that money sitting there, I can do this. And I didn't have to go and ask for the time off because I'm only working part-time. It was easy for me to work it around. I'd never have been able to do that before. And I was trying to calculate how much overtime I'd have had to work to be able to afford that. And I'd had to ask for the holidays and probably not got it. But I was able to see, just watching his face, doing the one thing that he never thought he was going to get to see. And that you can't put a price on that.
100%.
So stuff like that is for family. I mean, that's just one example in many things that the time freedom's allowed me to do for him. Watching him scoring a goal on a Sunday morning, which doesn't happen every week, by the way. But just the confidence thing for me is, I think to myself all the time, I made a success of this. And it's simple. It's not easy. You've got to work at it. But I've made a success of this because I saw and took a step to do something different. And I'm really proud of what I've achieved and how I've managed to do that, because it was like being on your own, anything's a risk. But just the confidence it's given me to do things like I've set up some networking groups locally for local business women, just for us to be able to come together and support each other and help each other and share ideas. And we meet once a month, and we've got a nice Christmas lunch organised for next month, and making new friends, meeting new people, and supporting other women in the community that feel the same. I would never have had the confidence to do that before, but I would never even known it was an issue, that there wasn't anything like that, until I stepped into this business that's shown me different ways to network with people and how important it is to support like-minded people. And even just doing stuff like this, I never had the, not that I didn't have the confidence, but I wouldn't have been able to articulate myself just as well. But it's just like everything, if you practice it, you get a wee bit better.
Absolutely not. I hope. Totally get it. Well, yeah, I hope so as well. I know when I joined this business, there's no way I would have thought I'd be doing lives or anything like that. That's for sure. Like, oh my goodness, the lives didn't even exist back then. But yeah, the whole thought of that was absolutely mind-blowing as such. So it's developed your confidence, it's developed your mindset, it's realised that there's more you can add to the local community, as well as obviously the benefits of Ewan. And I've just remembered what it is that you'll have done with Ewan, but obviously we don't want to embarrass him. No, maybe not. That's unfair. He doesn't know. So kind of getting towards the end of this, because I don't want it to go on like too long. Okay. What advice would you give to someone who's thinking, I want to earn some extra money, I don't know what to do, I never seem to have enough time? What would your advice to be to someone who says, I just don't think I have enough time? What would be your answer to that?
That's a really easy one. The answer to that is that should be the very reason why you should.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you think about what people spend the most of their time doing, it's earning. Their biggest chunk of their time is at their work earning. And if you break that down to what do you spend the rest of your time doing, which is probably running about after your family and doing all the stuff that you absolutely have to do. The beauty of this is that you can fit this into the nooks and crannies of your life. Whereas any other part-time job, you have to commit certain hours, certain weeks. You have to be away from all the things you love, away from your family, for what? No very much money. Second jobs, they take you away from your family. This you can do anywhere. I was sitting doing it in the hairdressers yesterday. Know that you would know the day. But you can do it anywhere. I used to do it sitting at the side of the swimming lessons for you, or at the football field, or the stuff I'm on my social media. You can do it anywhere and still earn money without taking it. And then what starts to happen is what I explained earlier. The time starts to even out in the other way. So as much as you need a little bit of commitment at the beginning to get yourself going, the more you start to do that and the more it starts to build, the more you can push aside the other stuff that's stealing your time from you. I would say it's the very, very reason why you have to do it. The newest member of my team is a single parent. She runs 2 businesses and has 4 children. 3 of them are really little. She's flying. And the reason for that is because busy people manage their time better. So she fits that in round about her kids, round about her businesses, because she can. So I would say that if you're a busy person, you'll make a much better success of this than somebody's got all the time. What else?
It's very true, actually. If you want something done, give it to a busy person. And busy people realize that there's a point where you can eventually get to burnout, because you can't be busy all of your life. There's got to be a point. And, was Einstein who said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So if you want to have something different, which is what most people do, you're doing the same thing. You're just never going to get there. That's what you said makes total sense. So wrapping up, okay, because the spotlight is on you, Kirsty. What's next for you? What's your vision of the future for you going forward?
Well, I think it's quite clear, and everybody always says to me that you can quite clearly see that I love what I do, and helping people really makes me feel really nice. Being able to just, even sometimes I can't help somebody in terms of being able to do everything for them, but sometimes just helping somebody to see and understand what it is that they're having trouble with in their head, that in itself is a really nice thing to be able to do. So I want to continue helping people to save money and consolidate things and make things simpler. But what I really, where my passion lies, is watching people like the new girl in my team who is loving it. She's qualified for every incentive within the first few weeks. She's making bonuses. She's making money. She's like very excited about where this is going for her. She's already started talking about helping other people to do the same. And for me, that's where I want to go. It's the satisfaction of helping people, but the satisfaction of watching people build their own success based on something you showed them how to do. So they can run off and do it themselves, but you can stand in the background a wee bit like a proud parent and go, I helped to do that. And just helping people to see that there's another way and that they don't have to be slogging their way through life. And that just from earlier on about when you said about exchanging time and busy people, and it's quite hard to work the other way and actually learn how to slow down, which is taking me a year to do that and be all right with sitting in the morning having a cup of coffee before I put my computer on, or having a day where I just don't do anything because I can. It's hard to condition yourself to do that, but see, when you get to that stage, it's absolutely life-changing. And I'd love, for me, what I want is to help other people to get into that position sooner in their life.
Amazing. The analogy that I use in terms of what we do within the business is it reminds me of, if you've ever watched the athletics and they've got the 4x100 meter relay race. Yeah. So there's 4 people going to run 100 meters and somebody's got the baton and they run the 100 meters. And then what happens is they don't pass it bang on the 100 meter to the next person to run the next 100 meters. They kind of run in tandem together, anything up to 10 meters, and then pass that baton on. And that's what you're doing, because you're helping the new person understand the basics, follow the system, so that they can then get up to speed. Because literally that's what's happening, is you're starting to slow down and they're starting to warm up, and then you pass that baton and then you run they run the next 100 meters and they do the same and the same. And then as a team, collectively, together, everyone achieves more. That's what team stands for. Everyone achieves the end goal and wins the gold medal in life, which is whatever you want that to be. So there's absolutely no questioning that you're going to have an impact on literally thousands, if not tens of thousands of people, through you teaching others to teach others to teach others. So Kirsty, thank you very much for your time tonight. It's been absolutely amazing. Anyone who's watching on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you're finding us, whatever, if you want to know more, reach out to Kirsty, reach out to myself, and give you more details. This is just to kind of give you an overview. And next week, I am going to interview someone else. They don't even know who it is, because I haven't even thought who it will be yet either. So it'll be a surprise to us all. So make sure you log in on the Time Wealth Creator on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We'll see you all soon. Thanks again, Kirsty.
Pleasure.